Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How
Good.
are you?
I'm doing great. So to start, this is very at times contained because you guys are pretty much either stuck on a boat or stuck on a raft or then stuck on an island where it is just the two of you.
Yeah.
And even though these characters are supposed to have like just met and have a tenuous relationship, how did you as actors kind of fill the gap between like just being on a raft together? Like, did you guys have anything that you guys did as just two actors when you're stuck kind of in these? It's a tense movie, but you are two actors stuck on location together in
What was that dice
small
game,
areas.
Eric? What was that game
Oh,
that we played?
you know the game Liar's Dice?
No.
Okay, so it's a
Okay, that's
game
that's
where
how
you
we
have
got through it.
yeah,
Is it?
it's a great game. It's played with dice and you can play with like up to five people, but we killed a lot of time playing Liar's Dice
Yeah,
uh, out in the middle of the jungle.
yeah. That's how
It's
we did it.
because it's such an interesting movie because like yeah, I do love how your character, it's established she just likes fighting people, and I do like that throughout the movie we get to see it kind of more and more come out that
Yeah.
it goes from liking to fight people to a necessity by the end.
Yes. Yeah.
um and though for you, as a young actor kind of like having to embody that in a role,
Hmm.
what was the most fun aspect of that for you? Was it like getting to train, or was it like, I don't know what it's called in movies. I know I did theater, so it was called
Yeah.
fight call. But like, like what do
Stunts.
you? Yeah, I guess they
Yeah.
are just stunts.
Yeah. Um, I think I did not expect it for to have so much fun with the shooting scenes. I've never been to a range. I'm, very scared of guns, and I got a rush from going to the shooting range, and I love doing the shooting scenes. I enjoyed it. I felt like a badass, and I really enjoyed doing the stunts. I also really, really loved my stunt double. We got really close. So, um, and she's such a badass, and the really hard stuff she did, but she was also just there for me um, emotionally through everything. So it was a fun part to explore, and a part that I didn't know I would enjoy so much. So I guess I don't remember exactly what your question was, but I did enjoy the action part. I really had fun.
And Eric, I do like that you got kind of, I think in the minds of your fans, you have two kind of sides of a coin going right now. Because if it's not mixed steamy, it's like these very darker characters that kind of have like a sinister side to them. And so, what is it about the more sinister stuff that is fun to kind of like dive into and get to play around with?
Well, I mean, look, it's fun playing the antagonist. You get to do all the things that you want to do and say all the things that you want to say sometimes without having to experience the real world consequences. Um, it's really fun. It's really fun to be bad, you know. I think it requires a lot more strength, focus, effort to be good. Um, so, uh, you know, just to be able to let it fly, your primitive, basic human sort of intuition and instincts um, is very freeing at times.
Yeah. And it does, this movie, it made me a little sad because I love Ray Liotta so much. And I do love that there's such a like plethora, I guess, all of a sudden of like Ray Liotta cameos that keep popping up. Because I like was so excited because I remembered he was in Cocaine Bear, and then like I like seeing this. It's like every time he pops up, still it makes me happy. And so like, Adia, was it for you? Obviously now it is different because you're talking about it in the past tense, but was like working with him in that small little scene. What was that like for you as an actor to kind of like get to have that one little brief moment with someone that does have like such kind of of that career that like when you see his name, even it's just like, oh my god, yeah, that's Ray Liotta. Like you think of like 20 different movies, and not, it's
Yeah.
just like not one specific thing.
I think what surprised me the most was how how much he cared. He came in for a supporting role, and I was very nervous. It was towards the end, and we did that scene all day, and he gave me more on my coverage than he did for himself. He cared about the scene a lot, and he cared about me a lot, and he was just very, very generous. And that's something that's what I'll remember him as someone that is extremely giving and extremely selfless. He just the camera turned to me, he's like, "Oh, we're doing her." Okay, it was. I got so much support from him, so that's what I'll always remember him as.
And it's dude, this movie is it's I do like how it goes from being very kind of contained on just the two of you guys to being so kind of big and action packed, and then like going back. I like the fluctuation between it, but it is so important that it is kind of those contained moments really hit. And so what for you both was the most important thing about kind of getting those more tense moments to work and like connect? Because it's no offense, but like Eric, I at first I was like, I don't trust going anywhere with this man that I've never met before. And this,
Yeah.
she's right. She's like, why are we going? You just met this guy. It's been 6 weeks. Why are we going somewhere? I was like, she's correct. I
Mm.
also wouldn't be going on a trip on a boat.
I tried to get out of it, but
Just try and leave.
mom, yeah, we're gonna let it up.
Well, that's the challenge. I mean, that's what our job is to make the sometimes some stuff that's unbelievable believable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and maybe those aren't circumstances that you would engage in, nor would I, nor would Odeya.
Mm-hmm.
But within that story, those people did. And our job was to make sure that the story tracked.
Yeah.
So that you don't lose the audience. And there's some really some wild, outrageous circumstances that we have to navigate in this story.
Yeah.
That were not easy. They're not an easy sell all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we did. I think we did. And that just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I could watch you walk around at the end of this movie when you're walking around just like with a gun. It is like truly badass doesn't really explain it, but it is just like the way that you were walking within that boat
Mm.
is just it feels weird to call it cool, but it is like a feeling that I feel like a lot of women understand, not to that
Yeah.
level, but the feeling of just kind of like so like I don't want to be here. I have to find a way out and I'm going
Mm.
to figure it out. And
Yeah.
when you are kind of like at that level as an actor where you're like, great, I'm going to put myself in this mindset, place I've never been, but I know kind of a small level of that feeling. Is there like where do you kind of like find the balance of like making that so believable? Because it is like I feel like it is somehow universal for a lot of women, even though it is such an
Yeah.
outrageous kind of situation.
Yeah. I don't know where that walk came from, to be honest. I've never till this movie. Oh wait, I might have held a gun once in another movie actually. But other than that handgun that I held once in another movie, I never held a gun in my life. I would watch, Angelina Jolie growing up and honestly think like, because she was also known for doing her own stunts and loving thrill. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I like to be comfy. I want to do like a comedy. I never saw myself as that. It wasn't like a goal of mine. It was something I was scared of. And I was like, why are you jumping off a building? Why just, I have so many fears. So so I don't know where that came from, but I actually really enjoyed it. And there's a side of me that came out on this movie that I didn't know I had in me. And And I see myself, you know, saving these girls and handling a gun. I'm like, damn, I actually, you know, it's not completely cringy. So it was, I think that I surprised myself. You know, there's like a warrior side of me that I didn't really know was in there. But yeah.
It was just so cool to see because I feel like a lot of these I don't like the open water. So when I as soon as the movie started, I was like, all right, how much of this am I going to just like not like 'cause I don't like open water? But I was
Right.
like, all right, like it's a whole different thing. I'm not that
Yeah.
I'm going to be very uncomfortable about. But I do think so much of this movie works because it was just like I was like, I want to help her. And then to see that switch at the end is so cool. But for you both, with the movie like this that is so action packed until you realize kind of like the messaging and everything that it is saying, what do you both hope audiences take away when they get to see Dangerous Waters?
I hope that uh, I hope that women feel a sense, and men, I hope that they feel a sense of empowerment and confidence, and that honestly, and that you know, also that you know, Ray Liotta is remembered and honored through this film, and I feel like you know, a sense of hopefulness. I hope that people feel empowered and hopeful that there is you know light at the end of the tunnel, and um, that sometimes you know being the good guy when it feels like it's not paying off and not paying off and not paying off, it's at the end of the day it's at the end of the day it will. And yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I gave like 5 different messages, so I covered them all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Like covered the bases.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for talking with me today, Eric. I hope that everyone enjoys the shorts look. I really do like that that was a whole line in this
Yeah,
movie
you
that was
wore
like
that well.
I never saw him in shorts. I was like, great, no
Yeah.
notes. Loved that that is the start of this movie and your introduction. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for people to get to see the movie.
Thank you.
So much.
Awesome. Thanks. Have a great one.